Most traders don't fear losing money. They fear what the loss says about them. The number on the screen hurts, but that isn't the real damage. The real damage is internal. A loss immediately triggers identity questions. Am I bad at this? Am I regressing? Did I lose my edge? Am I wasting my time? That spiral has nothing to do with trading performance. It's ego trying to protect itself. Losses feel personal because most traders attach meaning to outcomes instead of behavior. They don't say, this trade failed. They say, I failed. That distinction matters more than risk management. When losses are interpreted as personal failure, discipline collapses, not instantly, gradually. The trader tightens after a loss, hesitates on the next setup, or swings the opposite direction and oversizes to compensate. Both reactions come from the same place: emotion trying to repair identity. This is why two traders can take the same loss and have completely different outcomes. One logs it, moves on, executes the next signal. The other carries it forward like a stain. The difference is not resilience, it's interpretation. Losses are neutral events, but traders rarely experience them neutrally. They load them with meaning, stories, and judgment. And once a loss becomes a judgment, objectivity disappears. From that moment on, every decision is contaminated. This is where most trading accounts start to die. Not on a big loss, on the first loss that changes behavior. The human brain is built to associate pain with danger. In trading, loss feels like pain, so the brain looks for a cause it can control. The simplest explanation is self-blame. If I lost, I must have done something wrong. Sometimes that's true, often it isn't. Probability guarantees losses even with perfect execution, but the brain does not think in probabilities under stress. It thinks in patterns and shortcuts. A loss triggers a threat response. That response demands correction, so the trader changes something. Entry timing, stop placement, position size, patience. Not because the data suggests it, because discomfort demands action. This is how traders unintentionally sabotage positive expectancy. They treat normal variance as a problem to be fixed. The market doesn't punish them immediately for this. It lets the behavior slide for a while. A lucky win reinforces the change. A near break-even trade feels like improvement. Now, the loss hasn't just hurt emotionally, it has altered the system. From here on, the trader is no longer executing a plan. They're reacting to pain. This is where discipline quietly erodes. The trader believes they are learning from losses. In reality, they're learning to avoid discomfort. That's not growth. That's conditioning. Feedback only exists if it's interpreted correctly. Most traders don't extract feedback from losses. They extract reassurance or punishment. Neither improves execution. When losses are treated as failure, three things happen. First, confidence becomes unstable. Wins feel relieving, not affirming. Losses feel threatening, not informative. Confidence becomes tied to recent outcomes instead of process adherence. Second, rules become flexible. After a loss, traders start adjusting. They wait for extra confirmation. They skip valid setups, or they force marginal ones to get back what was lost. This inconsistency is deadly, not because any single decision is catastrophic, but because the system is no longer being tested honestly. Third, trust in self erodes. The trader stops believing their rules work, not because they don't, but because they're never followed long enough to prove it. Eventually, every setup feels suspicious. The trader hesitates, enters late, exits early, or doesn't enter at all. At this stage, losses don't just cost money, they cost decisiveness. The trader becomes emotionally fragile even on good days. This is why many traders say they feel mentally tired from trading. They're not tired of analysis, they're tired of constantly negotiating with themselves, all because the losses were interpreted as failure instead of information. Here's the rule. Losses only matter in relation to execution, nothing else. A loss taken in plan is neutral. A loss taken out of plan is expensive, not financially, psychologically. Feedback is not emotional, it's mechanical. After loss, there are only 3 valid questions. Did I follow my rules? Did the setup meet criteria? Did I execute as defined? If the answer is yes, the loss requires no emotional response. Log it. Move on. If the answer is no, the problem is not the loss, it's behavior. And behavior can be corrected. Losses are not proof you're bad at trading. They are proof that probability exists. Treating losses as failure turns normal variance into trauma. Treating losses as feedback turns them into data. The market doesn't care how losses make you feel. It only responds to whether you execute consistently. Most traders don't fail because they lose too much. They fail because losses change who they are. Discipline means losses do not alter behavior. They do not demand compensation. They do not require emotional processing. They are logged, categorized, and forgotten. That's not emotional detachment. That's professionalism. Tomorrow we address the final layer, why most traders secretly need losses to mean something, and how to remove that need entirely.